What's the most important promise you've ever kept? My grandfather's farm was the last piece of undeveloped land in what had become a rapidly growing suburb. 118 acres of rolling pastures, woodlots, and creeks. Land that had been in our family since 1932, when my great-grandfather bought it during the Depression for back taxes. I spent every summer there as a kid, learning to fish in the pond, helping with hay baling, and listening to Grandpa's stories on the porch swing. By the time I was finishing college, developers were circling like vultures. The neighboring farms had all sold, replaced by identical subdivisions with names like Oak Meadow and Wilson Creek Estates, despite having neither oak trees nor creeks. Grandpa received offers weekly, each more aggressive than the last. The last one was for nearly $8 million. That kind of money could set up generations of our family, my father argued during Sunday dinner. Mom's medical bills aren't getting cheaper and the property taxes keep rising. Grandpa just shook his head. This land isn't just dirt and trees, it's our history. A month later, Grandpa had a massive stroke. I drove 5 hours from my new job in Chicago to sit beside his hospital bed. His right side was paralyzed, his speech slurred but comprehensible. "They'll come for the land when I'm gone," he whispered, gripping my hand with surprising strength. "Your father means well, but he sees dollar signs, not legacy. What do you want me to do?" I asked. "Promise me you'll hold on to it. Not forever. I'm not that selfish. Just long enough for your cousin's kids to fish in that pond like you did. Long enough for them to understand what it means to have roots somewhere." I promised, not fully understanding what I was committing to. Grandpa died 3 days later. At the reading of the will, everyone was shocked to discover he'd left the entire farm to me, not my father. The condition: I couldn't sell any portion for 20 years. My father didn't speak to me for months, convinced I'd manipulated his dying father. My mother would call in tears saying Dad was drinking again, that their retirement savings were dwindling because they'd been counting on that inheritance. The pressure was relentless. Developers continued calling, now with my name on their letters. The property taxes were staggering, nearly $27,000 annually. The old farmhouse needed a new roof. The tractor broke down. Meanwhile, I was living in a cramped Chicago apartment, commuting 2 hours each weekend to maintain land I couldn't afford. After a year, I was drowning in debt. I consulted a lawyer who found a loophole. I could lease portions of the land without technically selling it. I signed a deal with a developer to build on 30 acres, the part furthest from the house and pond. The morning construction was to begin. I walked the boundary we'd marked. Beyond it stood century-old oak trees where my grandfather had hung a tire swing. I remembered him showing me how to identify bird calls there, pointing out woodpeckers and orioles. I called the developer and canceled the deal, forfeiting my deposit and earning threats of a lawsuit. Instead, I quit my Chicago job, moved into the old farmhouse, and started researching agricultural grants. I converted 60 acres to organic vegetables, launched a CSA program, and opened the farm to local schools for educational tours. It didn't make me rich, but it covered the taxes and repairs. 5 years in, my father visited for the first time since Grandpa's funeral. He walked the property silently, stopping at the pond where his own father had taught him to fish. "I thought you were a fool," he finally said, "but you've done something here I wouldn't have had the patience for." It's been 12 years now. My wife and I live in the renovated farmhouse. Our twins are growing up catching frogs in the same creek I did. The farm hosts summer camps and community events. We're not wealthy by developer standards, but we're solvent.